The Aryan Brotherhood, AB, also referred to as the Brand, the AB, or simply Alice Baker, is a notorious white supremacist prison gang that originated in 1964 within the California prison system. Over the decades, it has grown into one of the most violent and influential criminal organizations both within and outside prison walls in the United States. Despite its relatively small membership compared to other gangs, the Aryan Brotherhood wields disproportionate power through its ruthlessness, well-organized structure, and involvement in a wide array of criminal activities. This gang is emblematic of how organized crime and extremist ideologies can merge in the violent, closed environment of American prisons, creating a network that extends far beyond the prison yard. The Aryan Brotherhood emerged during the racially turbulent 1960s as a reaction to the increasing racial diversity and tensions in California's prison system. At the time, prison populations were sharply divided along racial lines, with African American and Hispanic inmates forming their own alliances, such as the Black Guerrilla Family and the Mexican Mafia. White inmates, who felt increasingly marginalized and threatened, came together to create their own gang. The Aryan Brotherhood's founding purpose was ostensibly to protect white inmates from violence perpetrated by rival racial groups. However, this self-preservation quickly morphed into a broader agenda rooted in white supremacist ideology and criminal enterprise. Although it adopted some Nazi symbols and rhetoric, the Aryan Brotherhood was primarily motivated by power and profit rather than ideological purity. Symbols such as swastikas, lightning bolts, and other Nazi iconography became common tattoos for members, marking their allegiance to the gang. However, this adoption of white supremacist imagery was as much a tool for intimidation as it was an expression of deeply held beliefs. The gang's primary goal was control over their members, their rivals, and the lucrative criminal activities within and beyond prison walls. The Aryan Brotherhood is known for its hierarchical and disciplined organizational structure, a feature that has enabled it to maintain cohesion and influence despite the challenges of incarceration. At the top of the pyramid are the leaders, often referred to as commissioners or council members, who make strategic decisions and control the gang's activities. Beneath them are the generals, lieutenants, and lower-ranking members, all of whom are expected to follow orders without question. Loyalty and secrecy are paramount. Members who disobey or betray the group are often subjected to brutal punishments, including death. Membership in the Aryan Brotherhood is highly exclusive and requires a rigorous initiation process. Prospective members, often referred to as prospects or pledges, must prove their loyalty through acts of violence, such as attacking rival gang members or even killing on the gang's behalf. This process not only weeds out the uncommitted but also solidifies the recruit's dependence on the gang, as they become complicit in its crimes. Once initiated, members are expected to live by the gang's code, which prioritizes loyalty to the Brotherhood above all else, even family. The Aryan Brotherhood's reputation for violence is unmatched among prison gangs. From its earliest days, the gang became notorious for its willingness to use extreme violence to achieve its objectives. Contract killings, or hits, are one of the group's signature activities, with members often targeting rival gang members, informants, or even their own members who are suspected of disloyalty. These murders are typically carried out with makeshift weapons, such as shanks, improvised knives, and are executed with precision, often in public settings to send a message. While violence remains a cornerstone of the Aryan Brotherhood's identity, the gang has also expanded into a variety of profitable criminal enterprises. Drug trafficking is perhaps the most lucrative, with the gang controlling significant portions of the prison drug trade and maintaining connections with outside suppliers. Methamphetamine, heroin, and other narcotics are smuggled into prisons through various methods, including corrupt prison staff, visitors, and even drones. The profits from these operations are often laundered through outside associates, enabling the gang to finance further activities and maintain its network. In addition to drug trafficking, the Aryan Brotherhood is involved in extortion, gambling, and loan sharking within prisons. Members use intimidation and violence to extract protection fees from other inmates or to control underground gambling operations. Outside prison, the gang's activities extend to armed robbery, human trafficking, and large-scale drug distribution. These operations are often coordinated by members who have been released or by associates who are not incarcerated. Although the Aryan Brotherhood is often associated with white supremacist ideology, it is important to note that this ideology is often subordinated to the gang's criminal ambitions. The gang adopts a pragmatic approach to alliances, occasionally cooperating with non-white gangs when it serves their interests. For instance, the Aryan Brotherhood has been known to collaborate with the Mexican mafia for mutual benefit in drug trafficking and other criminal ventures. However, within the prison system, the gang maintains a strict racial hierarchy and frequently engages in racially motivated violence. The Aryan Brotherhood's commitment to white supremacy is most evident in its internal culture and symbols. Members often display tattoos of swastikas, SS lightning bolts, and other Nazi imagery, as well as the number 666, which is associated with their nickname, the Brand. These symbols serve as both a declaration of allegiance and a form of psychological warfare against their enemies. The gang's literature and rituals often include references to Aryan pride, Norse mythology, and other themes associated with white nationalism, further reinforcing their identity. Racial violence remains a central feature of the Aryan Brotherhood's activities, particularly within prisons. The gang frequently targets African American and Hispanic inmates, both as a show of dominance and as a means of reinforcing its own cohesion. This violence often sparks retaliatory attacks, leading to cycles of bloodshed that can destabilize entire prison facilities. In many cases, the Aryan Brotherhood's violence is not random but carefully planned, with targets chosen to maximize the gang's influence or settle scores with rival groups. Despite its relatively small size, estimates suggest that the Aryan Brotherhood has fewer than 20,000 members both in and out of prison. The gang's impact is significant. Its reputation for violence and ruthlessness has earned it a level of respect and fear that far exceeds its numbers. This reputation serves as both a deterrent to rivals and a recruitment tool, as potential members are drawn to the gang's aura of power and invincibility. The Aryan Brotherhood's influence within the American prison system is unparalleled. It is often able to control the flow of contraband, dictate the terms of inmate interactions, and even influence prison policies through intimidation and corruption. Correctional officers and administrators frequently struggle to contain the gang's activities, as its members are adept at exploiting weaknesses in the system and using violence to enforce their will. Outside prison, the Aryan Brotherhood's influence is growing, particularly in the realm of organized crime. The gang's network of associates enables it to operate in multiple states, and its involvement in drug trafficking and other lucrative activities ensures a steady flow of resources. Law enforcement agencies have struggled to combat the gang's operations, as its members are highly secretive and willing to use violence against witnesses or informants. Efforts to dismantle the Aryan Brotherhood have faced numerous challenges. Law enforcement and corrections officials have implemented strategies such as solitary confinement, gang classification systems, and intelligence gathering to disrupt the gang's activities. However, these measures often have limited success, as the gang's members are highly resilient and adaptive. Solitary confinement, for example, can exacerbate the gang's sense of solidarity and lead to more radicalization rather than deterrence. The Aryan Brotherhood's activities also raise broader questions about the role of prisons in perpetuating violence and criminality. Critics argue that the gang's rise is a symptom of systemic issues within the American prison system, including overcrowding, racial segregation, and the lack of effective rehabilitation programs. Addressing these underlying issues is essential for reducing the influence of groups like the Aryan Brotherhood and preventing the cycle of violence and recidivism that sustains them. The Aryan Brotherhood stands as a grim testament to the intersection of organized crime, extremism, and systemic failure within the American prison system. Born out of racial tensions and fueled by a culture of violence, the gang has grown into a formidable force with significant influence both behind bars and on the streets. While efforts to combat its activities continue, the Aryan Brotherhood's resilience and adaptability underscore the challenges of addressing deeply entrenched criminal organizations. Only by addressing the root causes of gang formation and fostering a more equitable and effective justice system can the cycle of violence and exploitation be broken.